Morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm back with some more information. Break down how this class war, um, has brought us to where we're at today. In reality, there's many names for it. A good explanation from a military standpoint will be a Cold War. So, you know, you're declaring war without people directly shooting somebody. Um, but it's a class war because they're picking on those with lower economical in the lower economical brackets, which in reality is a race war, like I've explained before. So let me give you an example. I come from the city of Inglewood, California. Back in the early '90s, they tried to bring in the food chain, I mean the store chain Walmart, and at the time our city was pretty much 50-50 black and Mexicans. The only people that were white that came around were the people that worked at the Air Force Base, Northrop Grumman. They assembled a lot of jet fighters there, a lot of technical, pretty much like NSA, DOJ buildings where they assembled jet fighters and such, which of course are all predominantly white people. As a matter of fact, I've been to different military bases, and I went to that Air Force base, and I see nothing but white faces. So anyhow, they try to bring in that chain into the city, and the city denied them access because they foreseen what was happening here. What they were gonna do is come in and bring in the big name stores, which I explained before are directly connected to the big shots in the government, mostly right wingers, but in reality, it's all about money. So you could claim what a side or what have you, and at the end of the day, you know, they all rub shoulders with each other. Um, it's all about making money and controlling what they consider to be the lower races and lower classes. So they denied them from entering the city. Around that same time, what they did with the crime, they changed, say, a 2-year crime into a crime that that now you'll be sentenced to 10, 15 years for, and even life for what was a 2-year crime. So now they start sweeping the streets, getting all the men, mostly black and brown men, off the streets for petty drug crimes, what have you. Not only that, but this is how they cover their asses. And now we have the majority of young black and brown men going to prison for extended periods of time. And at around the same time, we start declaring war on other countries. We go to Iraq, Baghdad, Desert Storm. So now they're taking what's left of our brown and black brothers and sending them to war. Now, the first effect that has is now many of us are not able to vote. We're not able to say who has who's going to be our leadership, and we're not going to be able to voice our opinion. So we start getting pushed out of having an opinion, which ultimately leads to us being denied the ability to refuse big companies like Walmart from coming in and taking over. Secondly, it leaves our women and children at home alone, um, without protection of leadership, because mostly people that are getting taken to the military, or a lot of the guys that they're labeling gang members, such as myself, even though it was proven I'm never for a gang, the first thing they did as a child, 12 years old, they started taking pictures of me and saying that I was a leader of a gang. So what they do is they systematically get rid of our leadership, and they leave the women and children by themselves at home. Now, as I explained, a lot of these companies in the surrounding areas are government agencies where they're predominantly white. They work for the CIA, NSA. Now, what's to stop them from pressuring our women into sleeping with them and to serving them? Nothing. This is a common story that I had as I went around making my rounds and my investigations, a lot of women say that sometimes they'll be befriended by what was a nice guy, and they'll invite him out, and next thing officers will show up and they'll pressure him into doing things that they wouldn't normally do, and other times these women will be harassed on the way to work by total strangers and forced into a position where they pretty much had to um, do sexual favors for them not to be harassed. Now that's just the start, because now these guys, which are predominantly white, are having children with our races, black and white, brown and black brothers, and since they work for the government, they have all the power to take these children away from them. And what is a woman that her class, her race, they have no say so in what the government does, and they're being surrounded by men in the military, men in the CIA, by men with security clearance. Uh, what are they to do if they come to your house and say, "Well, I want that child"? You're stuck in a position where, okay, I can go file a claim, but this man has security clearance. All he has to do is make a couple phone calls, and you're asked out. And this was the beginning of the child sex trade. Um, this is how it was explained to me by many women, and I noticed it myself as I would go around. I would say the last 30 or so women that I've met, they've only had two of them have had brothers, and two of them had uncles that were in the picture. So I'm asking myself, where did all the men go? Uh, I've been to prison. Yeah, the prisons are packed, but where are the rest of the men? If they're not in the military, what's happening? And this directly relates to what I was saying as far as our food being tampered with. These guys are tampering with our food to stop the black and brown brothers from, procreating to they're stopping our hairs, in other words, and they're leaving us with women, women that are unprotected, as they're using us, to fill the prisons and to go to war. And now these women are stuck in a position where there's no one there to help them, and if they speak up, they're speaking up to the same people who are abusing them. So I believe that there were some articles about a system like Backpage where you could order children, and that's what these people in these government agencies are doing, as they're part of the sects that I've talked about, these sects that are related to the Vatican, where they believe it's okay for to use young children to procreate and to systematically wash our genes away. And for those that they use and abuse and they get tired of them, they send them through the underground system, through Mexico, across seas to places like Germany and those other countries that have close ties with the Vatican, and they're using our women and children to strengthen their countries and to replenish their bloodline, because as I said, as the bloodline, when they clean out their bloodline too long, that's when they start having heart failures, lung failures, and they start having chronic illnesses. So they need us, but they hate us, and they figure out a way to systematically wash us away and take away the leadership and the men that could protect our families and our ability to vote, our ability to have guns to protect ourselves. And you might be thinking, oh well, how does this guy come up with this? Well, there's people in the government that are actually paid to watch the flow of society and manipulate it, not only for money making, but to control us. They say that it's we needed to know to know how many schools we're gonna have to fix the streets, but that's if somebody actually cared. What about these people that don't care, and these people that have evil intentions, and these people that believe they're better than you? They're using it to manipulate society in a way where they have total control of not just us but you. So the reason I tell you guys this is so you guys can speak with it amongst each other, because I'm pretty sure there's a lot of women and children this has happened to, and people are just afraid to speak about it. And also to make the men in your lives aware that you got to walk a straight line, because at any moment, you know, for the smallest mistake, you could be taken away, and and then your moms and your aunts and your daughters and your wives are going to be alone to fend for themselves, while these government agencies, uh, which are being led by white supremacists, or religious people from the sect, directly related to the Vatican, and they're taking advantage of our kids, and and this is a real thing that's happening, in cities all across the United States. And my job, you know, as a Chicano rights activist, is just to put it out there in words. Uh, and you know, there's probably, I'm 100% sure there's people that know more about this than me, specifically these women that have had to suffer through these circumstances. But you know, I just do my best to share the word with you guys, share the story, and just make people aware of this is the type of world that we're living in, and this is a racial thing, uh, whether you want to believe it or not. And from the racial thing, it goes to a class war, so nobody's safe. If you have brown eyes, whether you're black, brown, or you're in the lower uh, brackets of the white race, you know, you're next, just like, you know, after they're done with us. So just be aware out there, share the words, and blessings for your lessons. Thank you.